Every spring, millions celebrate Easter, a holiday said to mark the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Churches are filled. Families gather. Children hunt for colorful eggs. We partake in communion to the icon of white supremacy while the children gorge on the sugary treats and some of the eggs. The rest are celebrating by feasting on pork and sweet cakes without a single thought of why we do these things. But ask yourself, what do bunnies and eggs have to do with Christ? Because the truth is, Easter is not what you think. It has nothing to do with Jesus. It has everything to do with ancient pagan rituals, fertility goddesses, and the hidden influence of Babylonian traditions. Let's break it down. Easter is an English translation of an Assyrian and Babylonian deity, Ishtar. Before Easter, there was Ishtar, the Babylonian goddess of fertility, love, and war. She was also referenced as Isis and Iana or Diana in Egyptian and Mesopotamia cultures. Ishtar's symbols? The rabbit and the egg, both ancient symbols of fertility and rebirth. In addition to her titles as the goddess of fertility and rebirth, she was also referred to as the Queen of Heaven, a title that you see references several times in the Bible and which the Catholic Church credits to Mary.
Are far more powerful than words, child.
There are people out there that don't believe in your miracles. How would you respond to those folks?
Offer your soul.
The various incarnations of this pagan deity highlights her traits as fertility, love, war, and sensuality. Ishtar is associated with Venus, which is a symbol of femininity, and the Greek goddess Aphrodite, with her symbols including the eight-pointed star and a lion. According to the Britannica regarding Dumuzi Amishambhalana. Dumuzi, in Mesopotamian religion, Sumerian deity especially popular in the southern orchard regions and later in the central steppe area. He was the young bridegroom of the goddess Inanna, or in the Akkadian language Ishtar. Inanna or Ishtar was a fertility figure sometimes called the Lady of the Date Clusters. Dumuzi, who was known as the Babylonian god Tammuz. Ishtar's Babylonian name was Semiramis, the wife of Nimrod, and later the lover and mother of Tammuz. The celebration culminated at the spring equinox with sweet cakes included. This trinity of pagan gods is where the Christian Trinity evolves from. This is a beast with many names which again includes Babylonian Semiramis, Nimrod, and Tammuz. Indo-Iranian Mitra. Mesopotamian Diana and Gilgamesh. Egyptian Isis, Osiris, and Horus. Akkadian Ishtar, Shamash, and Sin. Indian Shiva, Brahma, and Vishnu. Canaanite Asherah. The Assyrian Ishtar, Chinese Sanding. Greek Aphrodite. Roman Venus. The Phoenician Astarte. They all the monikers of Queen/Mother of Heaven. All in some form or fashion represents fertility. The new Ishtar for today is Christianity's Mary. The pagan parasite leeches from time period to period, culture to culture. All of it not supported by the Bible in any way, form, or fashion. celebrations involving sun worship, temple prostitution, and blood sacrifices. This includes sex cults and child sacrifices during all of the previous cultures. Ask yourself, is any of these happening today?
A person I've had 2 abortions.
Poster reads, "Life begins when you understand living women matter more than potential babies."
What is it?
What do you mean?
If it's a potential baby, what is inside of a woman?
It's a fetus?
The Lord is with you.
The Britannica chapter on Ishtar, Mesopotamian goddess, speaks on more of her various aliases. As goddess of Venus, delighting in bodily love, Ishtar was the protectress of prostitutes and the patroness of the alehouse. Part of her cult worship probably included temple prostitution. Her popularity was universal in the ancient Middle East, and in many centers of worship she probably subsumed numerous local goddesses. In later myth, she was known as Queen of the Universe, taking on the powers of Enlil, and Enki. These fertility gods are referenced in the Bible, such as the Asherah, whom worshippers and prostitutes erected with poles where they danced for coins and sexual offers. Sounds familiar? Saturnalia should be one many are unknowingly familiar with because they recognize it under a new name, Christmas. As civilizations rose and fell, Ishtar's traditions were absorbed into other cultures, eventually making their way into Rome and Christianity. She's constantly referenced today. People just don't pay attention, but Ishtar is all around us. She's deeply ingrained into society, religion, and their do-without-wilt and feminist agendas.
I said certified free, 7 days a week.
Why are people going to Easter Sunday without understanding they are celebrating sexual depravity and the destruction of innocent children? Easter isn't Christian. In fact, it's satanic. Think about it. Why do eggs and rabbits symbolize Easter? Eggs, in pagan tradition, represented new life and fertility. Many ancient cultures, from Babylon to Egypt, painted eggs as offerings to their gods. Rabbits, known for their rapid reproduction, were sacred to fertility goddesses, including Ishtar and Eostre, a Germanic deity linked to spring festivals. According to the UK publication, The Field, the Anglo-Saxons worshipped the goddess Eostre, referred to by the Venerable Bede in De Temporal Ration in 725 AD, in which he also mentions the indigenous English name of the month. Eastermonath has a name that is now translated as Pashal month and which was once called after a goddess of theirs named Easter, and whose honor feasts were celebrated in that month. This is what you are really endorsing in Christianity. None of this has anything to do with Jesus. So why are you celebrating Easter, which is essentially a sex festival pay homage to pagan idols? Take a look at the original manuscripts of the Bible and you'll find the actual word which the translators covered up and replaced to Easter. The word is Passat, which means Passover. Words have meaning, and it's past time for us to learn more about the truth about the traditions we follow. After all, for people who claim to be followers of Christ, tend to not follow anything he actually done. When Rome adopted Christianity, they didn't just erase pagan traditions, they repackaged them. Easter was merged with Passover to align with the resurrection of Christ. There are so many inconsistencies with Christ and Easter, such as the days in which we celebrate. They claim Sunday is the day to celebrate the resurrection of who they call Jesus Christ. However, Sunday was never the set holy day of God, wherein the Catholic Church made the change to Sunday as affront to God's authority. Math is not a Christian's friend, as Good Friday to Sunday does not account for 3 full days of the death, burial, and resurrection timeline. The repackaging isn't limited to Easter. Christmas, Lent, Sunday worship, and all the holidays today are pagan in origin. This ultimately marks everyone who celebrate these things for God's wrath, because they are clearly worshiping other gods by giving praise to Ishtar and Baal, and clear violation of the first commandment and many others through the actions which these pagan gods' rituals entail. Ishtar's rituals of sun worship were kept. That's why many churches hold services on Sunday morning. This is also why you see sun imagery, along with other Luciferian symbols, displayed constantly today. Eggs were Christianized into symbols of Christ's resurrection, but their origins remained the same. Ishtar or Easter is all about sexuality, fertility, goddess worship, and prostitution at its core. It makes more sense when you look at our world today to see the hypersexualized, degenerate state it is today. We are in a world where the elites gave power to feminists who are destroying every fabric of society and masculinity. After all, it's much easier to control the masses when the physical arm of rebellion is pacified. This wasn't about faith. It was about control. Easter today is a mix of paganism, capitalism, and religious tradition, but it's still rooted in deception. According to the Church of God International, it is undeniable that the early New Testament church did not observe Easter. They continued observing Passover, but with a new significance and understanding. The Catholic Church never removed pagan influence, it embraced it. This is one of the many unholy days given to you by your conquerors. You literally trust the same people, government, and system who enslaved, violated, and destroyed you to the point where you don't want to read for yourself.
Read, nigga! Read!
Ask yourself why you are mindlessly going through the motions following the traditions set by the world. Modern Easter is a billion-dollar industry, with corporations cashing in on ancient fertility rituals. Another pathway many are tricked into to get further away from God. The real meaning of Christ's resurrection is overshadowed by rituals that come from Babylon, not the Bible. Think about the possibility that you are willingly participating in worshiping false idols with the arrogance to proclaim you worship the God of the Bible at the same time. In 2025, there are no excuses to seek the truth and question the beliefs you were raised and indoctrinated into.
Think about it. Think. It ain't illegal yet. Think.
The truth still matters. Think about it. What if you are worshiping and giving your spiritual energy to a beast instead of the one true God you claim you serve? Wouldn't that put you in the large group Christ mentioned that would go to destruction? Not the very small group who went down the road less traveled, the road to salvation. So ask yourself, are you celebrating Christ? Or are you unknowingly participating in a pagan ritual? For centuries, we've been lied to. The truth about Easter is hidden in plain sight. The question is, will you open your eyes? This is Babylon, a world where ancient deception is sold as truth. So now that you know, what will you do? Will you put away false worship and actually follow Christ, or will you continue in willful ignorance until the final day where you'll be caught lacking?
You have to let it all go, Neo. Fear, doubt, and disbelief. Free your mind.